Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're week 14, Madden Elite Gamers. Obviously, playoff implications. That's going to be something that is we're going to be looking at. Every game is important now for those who are in the playoff race. Every game has been completed. Now let's look at our schedule. Teams that play this week: the Cardinals and Vikings, Bills and Eagles, 49ers and Browns, Rams and Lions, Saints and Buccaneers, Titans and Jets, Steelers and Bengals, the New England Patriots against the Houston Texans, Colts against the Jaguars, Chargers and Chiefs, Redskins and Bears, Falcons and Panthers, a divisional game there, and the Broncos and the Raiders, divisional game. That's a big matchup. And then we got the Cowboys and Packers, Seahawks and Ravens, and the Giants and the Dolphins. We'll get to the records and scoring and all that in a little bit. Let's look at some of the standings at this moment, and let's go through the playoff implications. In the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs are undefeated at 12-0. They will be the number one seed as it stands. 4 games left. The Buffalo Bills will be the second seed in the first round bye. They have lost 3 straight games. They got to start winning ball games. If not, they might not get that first round bye. They're 8-3 in the AFC. The Oakland Raiders actually have a better AFC percentage. So if the playoffs would begin, they would have that first round bye. But by the standings, they put the Bills over the Raiders. I'm not sure it was a head-to-head matchup or whatever, but it's the Bills with a first round bye. The Oakland Raiders, they'll be the 3rd seed coming out of the AFC West. Actually, I lied, because they'll be the 5th seed. The Chiefs will be the 1st seed and division winner if the playoffs would begin. The Oakland Raiders will be the 5th seed. So we got the Chiefs at number 1, Bills at 2, and my Pittsburgh Steelers will be the 3rd seed team, 8-4, and the 4th seed team will be a AFC South team, and that is the Titans. They're 7-5, and then, like I said, the Bills or the Raiders from that West division, they'll be the 5th seed. They're 9-3, and the New England Patriots in the division where the Bills are in, they'll be that last 6th spot team right there at 9-3 also. Then you got the Chargers at 8-4. They're 1 game back. The Titans, they're in the playoff picture as a division winner right now. And the Ravens, they're 2 games back from the wild card spot. Let's look at the NFC picture. We have 2 first round bye contenders. That's the Vikings and the Cardinals. They have a 2-game cushion over everybody. And the Seahawks, they'll be in the same division as the Cardinals, so they'll be the 5th seed. The Panthers will be the 3rd seed at 8-4. And then it'll be the Cowboys out of a weak NFC East division. They'll be the 4th seed if the playoffs will begin. They're also tied right now with the Eagles at 7-5. So the division winner will be that 4th seed. Cowboys and Eagles in a tie right now at 7-5. Vikings, Cardinals, Panthers, and Cowboys will be your division leaders. And the first round byes will go to the Cardinals and the Vikings. The 5th seed will be the Panthers. Oh, did I lie? The 5th seed will be the Cardinals. Nope. The 5th seed will be the Seahawks. Let's get this straight. The 5th seed will be the Seahawks. They're in the division the Cardinals are in, but the Cardinals have a 10-win season so far, 10-2. The 5th seed team will be the Seahawks, and then the 6th seed team will be the Saints. Obviously, the Saints will be fighting for a wild card spot between the team that does not win that NFC East division. That's going to be neither the Cowboys or the Eagles. The Falcons are a game back along with the Buccaneers, so they're still in the midst of it. And now let's look at some of the standings. Or we already looked at the standings. Let's look at the stats for the Oakland Raiders. I think they're still Alex Smith. Let me see. He was balling the last time I checked the stats. Let's see what he's doing now. Nope. We look at the total yardage, and it is Alex Smith for the Oakland Raiders with over 4,000 yards this season so far, 37 touchdowns, 19 picks. Eli Madden for the Giants has thrown for 3,800 and some change, 23 touchdowns, 21 picks. Carson Palmer for the Cardinals has thrown for over 3,600 yards, and he has a rating of 117.6. Pretty good stat numbers there for those three quarterbacks. Murray for the Oakland Raiders. So they got the leading rusher and the leading passer in terms of yardage. Raiders are a very formidable team, and Murray has over 1,000 yards receiving, or 1,000 yards rushing this season at 1,200, 14 touchdowns, and it is Shady McCoy at 1,168 yards. Jerry Archer for the Panthers. He has 1,102 yards. Receiving wise, it is Julio Jones for the Falcons. And he's having a pretty good season at 1,160 yards receiving. And Mike Evans has 1,047 yards. And he's got 6 touchdowns this year. Let's look at some of the defensive stats. We got, who's the sack leader? Edward Jr. for the Oakland Raiders, 11 sacks. Buccaneers, McCoy, he has 11 sacks. And let's look at the takeaway department. Let's see who's taking the ball away in terms of interceptions. Eric Berry for the Kansas City Chiefs. We talked about how formidable this Chiefs team is. And they got two top tier defenders right there. That's 27 interceptions combined between these two. Kansas City Chiefs, very solid football team. Now, with that, let's look at the award race. We've been looking at the weekly rewards, and you've seen a lot of Chiefs representatives from week 1, week 2, and down the road we got week 5. The Kansas City Chiefs, man, week 6, week 8, they always been represented for the rewards. Now let's see who's going to represent for the yearly reward. We talked about Alex Smith, and there he is. He's in the MVP conversation. It is team 9-3. Russell Wilson for the Seahawks are 8-4, and then you got Derek Carr for the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. I gotta believe that he deserves a little more recognition, but they got a defensive player, and he's not even in the conversation of being an MVP. You got to give credit to Eric Berry, who has 16 interceptions. Coach of the year, that goes to the Chiefs. They're 12-0 right now. And to the AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Alex Smith. He's leading the race. Defensive Player of the Year, and I believe should be the MVP. That is Eric Berry, and he's got his running teammate, the runner-up. Let's look at the NFC side. For the NFC, Offensive Player of the Year, Russell Wilson. He has a phenomenal stat. He has minimized interceptions. He has a great passer rating for the Seahawks. Defensive Player of the Year, Zach Brown for the Dallas Cowboys. They're 7-5, and they're tied for first in their division. Now, we're going to look forward into this week and this schedule. And let's get into it with the teams. We got 4 games left this year, and every game is going to have some kind of playoff implication to it. So let's get right to it and see the games that we're going to look at, the games that really matter. Let's do this. We got the Minnesota Vikings and the Cardinals. We talked about the Cardinals being the first seed in the NFC side. The Vikings, they're kind of, outside looking in, but they still got a shot. They're 6-6. The Minnesota Vikings will play at the Arizona Cardinals. That's a pretty big game, pretty significant game right there. We're gonna look at the team's records. That's what I'm trying to do right now. The Bills and Eagles. This team, Philadelphia Eagles, 6-5, a couple games out. Actually, they're 6-6, if I'm getting this right. A couple games out right now. You got the Eagles. They're 6-6. So there's a big divisional game for the Eagles here, because they're trying to chase down the Cowboys for that division title. And each game right here is important for the Eagles. They're right in reach of catching that NFC division title and the 4th seed overall. You got the 49ers and Browns. I don't think there's much playoff implications here. The Browns have been struggling throughout this season. Let's see what the 49ers are doing. San Fran. Let's see what they're doing. The 49ers are 2-9, and the Browns are 3-8. So not too good. That is one of those games you want to just overlook. The Lions and Rams, not too many playoff implications going on there. Obviously, these are probably for potential draft picks. The Lions were 1-10 coming in, and the Rams are 4-7. Saints and Buccaneers. This is a good one. The Saints were 6-5. The Buccaneers were 5-6. This is all week 12 or week 13 records. The Titans, I think they're 7-5 right now. And let's see. The Titans will play at the New York Jets. The Jets, 3-8. Titans, a big game for them. They're at 7-5 now. The Steelers and Bengals. The Bengals, looking forward to next year. They're 2-10. My Pittsburgh Steelers are 8-4. The Patriots and the Texans. This is a big game for the New England Patriots. They're 10-2, having a chance. Actually, they're 9-3. They got a chance to kind of fight for that division, and hopefully, for them, they can secure a first-round bye. That's a big game against the Texans, who are outside looking in, perhaps looking forward to the draft. They're 3-9. You got the Colts and the Jaguars. Divisional game, but not too much playoff implications. The Jaguars are hanging in there at 5-6. This is last week's records. I don't got the records in front of me right now. The Chargers and Chiefs. The Chiefs are undefeated. The Chiefs are undefeated at 12-0. The San Diego Chargers, they're still formidable. They're 7-4 last time I checked. The Bears and Redskins. This is going to be in Chicago, Windy City. And the Bears not represented. They're just 1-10 the last time we checked. The Redskins are a couple games back of the playoffs, 2 games back of the wild card playoffs. Big game for the Washington Redskins. We got the Falcons and the Panthers. The Falcons still trying to fight, still trying to hang in there for not only a wild card spot for the division. They're 2 games back from the Panthers the last time we checked. The Falcons were 6-5 and the Panthers were 8-3. The Oakland Raiders, like I said, this is a big game for the Oakland Raiders. They're not out of the division hunt yet. Alex Smith and them, they're hanging in there. They were 9-2 the last time we checked, perhaps 10-2 now, and they have that first round bye, the 2nd seed overall, and they're going to be playing at the Denver Broncos, who are 5-6 the last time we checked, probably 5-7 now. We got the Cowboys and Packers. Not too much playoff implications going on there. The Cowboys, however, they are 7-5, and they're leading their division over the Eagles, who will play the Bills. And we talked about that game a little bit earlier. Big game for the Eagles. And this is also a big game for the Cowboys, because the Packers, they're outside looking in at 5-7. Seahawks and Ravens. The Seahawks, they are 9-3, and the Ravens, looking forward to next year, they're 5-7. The Chiefs are the Giants and the Panthers, or the Giants and the Dolphins, excuse me. The Giants and the Dolphins. Giants are 4-7 the last time we checked, and the Dolphins are 5-6 the last time we checked. I have to get those records straight once we have this league advance in dataleagues.com. That's where we're looking at the records and standings. So it's going to be great action week, we hope, for week 14. A lot of big games for a lot of good teams. Teams that are outside looking in, teams that are in the lead of the division. Once again, big games we have. Looking in for the Cardinals and the Vikings. Big game for the Eagles there, playing at home. Big game for the Saints. Big game for the Titans. We got a couple big games for the Patriots looking to get that first round bye. Obviously, the Chargers still in the division hunt against the Chiefs, or at least trying to get into the playoffs against the Chiefs. And the Chiefs trying to secure that first round bye overall. Got big games for the Panthers. Falcons still outside looking in. The Cowboys trying to hold on to that division. And the Seahawks trying to secure that division in the West. And obviously the last game of the season, the last game of the week, will be a Monday Night Football game, Giants and Dolphins. That's it. That's all I have for you for week 14. We'll see you again. Thank you, everybody.